So I wanted to ask you guys a question, but before that, I also want to share with you probably some news that you already heard by now, more than likely, about how the U.S. military has uh, set their sights and targets and started bombing the enemies over in Iran. And we're not going to cover that in this video, but the big question here would be, would you want to discuss this in a future video on a live stream? Because a lot of my videos here are pre-recorded uploads of me providing you with the latest news and information, a little bit of opinion and insight on different things, connecting a few dots. But would it be better? Would it be more useful? Would you find it more entertaining if it were a live stream? So if so, just comment down below and just drop a number 1 in the comment section. And that means you'd like to see a live stream. And number 2, you just put number 2 if you're like, nah, I'm good. Just keep doing regular uploads. Now, most importantly, I guess on this particular video, because there's so many important things happening right now that I want to talk to you guys about. But right now, the biggest one being a headline that I read that is a battery plant. It's called SK Battery, I believe, SK. And they're up in Commerce, Georgia, Jackson County, and not far from an area that I'm pretty familiar with. And what I read, now these guys, they stand out to me because, number one, the facility is huge. If you're ever driving up 85 and you look to your right, if you're going up 85 north and you're going through Jackson County, you look to your right, you're going to see this massive facility that is like a mile long. I mean, this place is huge. And the reason why it really stands out, multiple reasons, but the biggest one being their notoriety in the media as they were busted for bringing in illegal workers to build the facility. But now the crazy part about it is reading this headline after what I shared with you guys yesterday about Tesla and Elon Musk dropping prices on Teslas and wrecking the depreciation of Tesla owners over just the course of a year and probably making it even worse in the next few months. I think Lucid's in trouble too, but either way, SK Battery is laying off and furlough and cutting hours and reducing their operations. Again, employees are the most expensive overhead typically for businesses, which, as I told you guys, when we see these pressures pushed down on these companies, these businesses, the first thing they're going to do is look to cut the workers, cut the staff, get rid of employees, obviously moving towards more of an automated AI-based technology workforce. But for the humans that still exist, they want to get rid of them. The computers, they just turn them off. But the humans, they want to get rid of them. And the crazy part about it is, it's like all these blips on the radar are painting a much bigger picture of the threat that's really coming in, which is like the little blips are like the little TIE fighters, and then they're letting you know that the damn Death Star is coming in and about to take up the whole screen on your radar. So basically, they're laying off employees, they're furloughing employees. Why? Because demand for batteries for EVs is down. A variety of reasons for that. Obviously, the United Auto Workers Union strike is part of that. GM and their CEO, Mary Barra, stating that she's going to not, even attempt to try to come close to the 400,000 units of electric vehicles for 2024. And add to that, Elon Musk dropping his price on Teslas to try to get people to buy them. These are clear indications and warnings, folks, of much, much bigger problems that lie ahead, all just tied to the automotive industry. And when you start to then really quantify what that means overall, I mean, the simple and easiest way to describe it is that inflation has made prices too high. Okay. Wages are not keeping up. The demand has diminished. Interest rates are too high to afford to borrow. borrowing requirements and underwriting criteria has become so tough and so difficult, most don't qualify. And I would be willing to bet a majority of folks out there who could afford to buy a 50, 60, 70, 80, $100,000 electric vehicle that's only capable of going a few hundred miles at a time would probably be more likely concerned with buying a home or doing some more financial planning to protect themselves and insulate themselves from the shit show, the storm that's coming, the economic and financial SHTF moment that's about to break loose. Now, switching gears to the housing market, Zillow's chief economist, Skylar, I don't remember her last name, but Skylar, I don't remember her last name. But basically, I watched her, and she was talking about how housing demand or housing sales are declining. They're in the toilet. And it has a lot to do with interest rates, but it has a lot to do with everything else that's happening in the markets and happening in the economy. And the best case scenario was to increase home sales that they have consistently seen backslide and be reduced month after month after month. Obviously, I was going to say through no help of the Fed, but that's not entirely true because Jerome Powell said it himself. He goes, last year, he said, pain will be felt by families and businesses. Jobs will be lost. Millions of jobs will be lost. And he wants to shrink balance sheets and soften the economy. Well, fortunately, we haven't experienced that hard landing scenario yet. Maybe it's coming, okay? But in the end, everything that he's done, that the Fed has done, these interest rate hikes, this, never ending, chokehold on the U.S. economy has forced homeowners into a position where they can't sell. Now, inversely, we see a reduction of existing inventory being put onto the market through resale, but we're also seeing an increase in new build, new construction homeowner incentives to try to entice buyers who aren't there. But in regard to resale, what she described, which I'm going to have to look up her name because now it's bugging me. I can't remember her last name. But Skylar said, based on Zillow's data points and their figures and their calculations and graphs and charts and expectations and projections and KPIs and everything that they have, all these, and AI obviously running these numbers for them and projecting futures. The best case scenario to improve the resale housing market included people getting a divorce and losing their jobs. She said this with a smile, like, yeah, the housing market, it's not great, but as soon as people start getting divorced and losing their jobs, they're going to start putting their houses up for sale. This is the future that we have to look forward to from an economic and a personal financial standpoint of the state of the economy, while I'm continuously seeing more indications of greater grief and strife and turmoil approaching through the automotive industry and furloughs and layoffs, which ultimately means people are going to be losing their jobs. They're going to be losing a considerable amount of their income. They're going to be cutting back on certain expenses in different places. And these people may experience extreme hardship when it comes to affording their home, which may lead to an increase in listings hitting the MLS because of what she said, job loss. Which obviously, if you have extreme financial difficulties, that could potentially lead to increased challenges in a relationship that may stem divorce. And this is what we have to look forward to. We have a situation where global conflict is just like exploding, no pun intended, like out of control, and the brink of World War III. While also here at home, maintaining a constant state of emergency, for lack of better words, in regard to, hey, you're probably going to lose your job. You're probably going to get a divorce. You're probably going to have to start a fire sale and liquidate your assets and in this distressed sale scenario just to get by, just to be at a point where you can barely make enough money to be broke, living paycheck to paycheck, and potentially homeless. It's crazy stuff. It's crazy stuff. The crazy part, I think the craziest part about it was, as I'm sitting here thinking, watching, it's like, they said there was going to be a housing market crash, and I don't think that that's necessarily true. But what they didn't say was pretty much exactly what is happening right now. And I know that there's so many people out there just like feeling it up to here, just trying to tread water just to stay alive. And that hammer is about to drop. And if that hammer drops in the next few weeks, in December, that hammer drops after people went out and blew a bunch of money and racked up a bunch of debt on their credit cards for Christmas and Thanksgiving, the new year is going to be tough, folks. The new year is going to be tough. The new year, in my opinion, new year is going to start off with another mass wave and announcement of nothing draws a crowd like a crowd. So basically, once the companies start announcing layoffs, more companies are going to start announcing more layoffs. So we're going to see that. We're going to see a decline in EV overall, which Tesla is going to cause a lot of shareholders a lot of grief and pain as they see their portfolios dropping. I know I'm hoping to see a video out of Richard Fain, because he put up a video earlier this year about how he went in on Tesla stock when probably he shouldn't have. But I'm interested to see if he'll make a follow-up video to that investment if Tesla actually ends up going in the direction that I anticipate and expect them to go, especially after the latest from this Cybertruck fiasco, which I don't know why they would allow that to happen. Actually, I do know why they would allow it to happen, but it could come back to bite them in the butt. But either way, we'll see how it plays out. But job loss, divorce, layoff announcements, more homes hitting the market, but not necessarily. And, these home prices are dropping. The values are dropping. So when they hit the market, they're also hitting the market at a time where other buyers are not in the greatest financial position to be extremely qualified with high interest rates. So the prices are going to have to come down even lower to accommodate. And that's assuming that the equity exists in the property because, it's there. The homeowner didn't pull out a HELOC or home equity loan or home equity line of credit and eat up that. And then they can't afford to sell the home because they're upside down, which would then create foreclosure risks or potentially maybe short sale opportunities. But we also got the student loans that are fired back up and adjustable rate mortgages or buy down rates that are about to really start to kick in and take into effect. And people are about to go from bad to worse, basically. It's wild. It's crazy. And, these little indicators, these little signs, these little hints, these little triggers, these little blips, they're out there. They're out there. I hope you guys are seeing them. I hope you guys are not affected by them in a huge way. Obviously, we're all going to feel this somehow, some way. It could be literally the fact that, for instance, we are affected by it. We are going to sell our van, but that's completely unrelated. But the Jeep is still at the dealership waiting to get a new differential, a new rear end entirely, because we were affected by the United Auto Workers Union strike that delayed the ability to get parts to repair this vehicle under warranty. Like, no matter what, we're all tied into this, and it will affect us somehow, some way. Now, fortunately, we did finally get a loaner vehicle. We got a Jeep Gladiator Oscar Mike. I don't know what an Oscar Mike is, but it's a Jeep Gladiator Oscar Mike. I ain't never heard this before. And so we have that. That's a plus. And but either way, like, it could be something as simple as this situation going on in the Panama Canal, and you go to the grocery store, you go out to buy something, and the shelves are empty because the cargo is stuck and it hasn't been able to pass through the canal, or maybe the product is available and the shelves aren't empty, but the prices are so much higher because these carriers had to pay so much more to bid up to get through the canal, or they didn't. They went the long way, adding increased wait time and lead time to the delivery, but also incurring more costs from an employment standpoint and the added fuel costs. So we're all going to feel it somehow, some way, some shape or form. And I'll just put it to you like this. Now would be the best time, no time better than ever, to really buckle down and hammer, like really lock in and focus on your finances and your budget and your job and your income and however many different multiple income sources that you can create, and beginning to have a plan and a strategy to mitigate the challenges that we're all going to face somehow, some way, shape, or form, one way or another, that are happening just every single day. That's pretty much all I can say. So until next time, folks, you guys, I hope this video is helpful. Drop a 1 in the comment if you want to do a live stream, or a 2 if you're like, nah, just keep it simple, and keep the uploads coming. Let me know, guys. Until next time. See you.